I'm Ava Ghobadpour, and we'll just kind of dive into ABG and see what it is and how we can benefit from it. So this is just like a little overview of what we're going to go over. We're going to go over the traditional uses of aged black garlic, go into some market insights, and what differentiates ABG from other ingredients out there. We'll go into the clinical studies and the scientific evidence, and we'll talk a bit about our production process and our quality standards at Farm Active, which really sets us apart, and we'll kind of summarize at the end. So these are actually the actual photos of where we farm our garlic, and we'll go into the traditions. So I'm not sure if anyone has heard of aged black garlic before. It started becoming popular within the Nutra world about a few years ago, but it has been around for many, many years. It is an ancient ingredient used in places like Korea, Japan, and ancient Egypt. It's actually been shown in Taoist mythology to help with mortality. And I'm from an Iranian background. Almost every Iranian I know has some garlic fermenting in their garage for God knows how many years, and we take it out on special occasions. And in the recent years, we actually have been seeing it come into the culinary scene as well for its flavor profile. And with that, the reason why we're seeing it in the Nutra space is because between 2015 and 2050, we're seeing our 60 plus population nearly double from 12% to 22%. So why we're seeing it is because we're seeing so much evidence for the antioxidant support and cardiovascular benefits that ABG has. And through this 60 plus population that we're seeing, there's a lot of aging process that causes more oxidation. But on top of just the aging process that causes this issue, we're seeing it kind of amplified through our environmental pollution, smoking, UV exposure, alcohol. It almost seems like everything we do causes more oxidative stress. So we want to take our preventative measures to help combat that. This is kind of a nice overview of ABG, or ABG10. So like we said, it has traditional Asian roots. It's 100% DNA certified. We'll kind of get into the details of this a little bit later, why it's so important for it to be DNA certified. But just know that it is. It is our social garlic. It avoids the unpleasant fresh garlic smell. So if you've been chopping up garlic in the kitchen and your hands and fingers smell for about, oh, I don't know, the rest of the day, maybe the next day, no matter how much you wash it. We consider ABG a social garlic, and it's because of the fermentation process that kind of gets rid of the harsh acidity and allicin that's in fresh garlic. It's produced in-house, and we use our proprietary extraction process, our ABG Cool-Tech. We'll dive into that a little bit more. We'll go into our 2 clinical studies. It has proven cardioprotective effect, the super antioxidant capacity where you won't see in any other aged black garlic, and published analytical HPLC. We use HPLC because it does not overestimate the active and is extremely accurate. So what is so magical about this ABG? So aged black garlic undergoes a specific fermentation process. Now, our particular method is proprietary, so I can't share all the details, but it's in a high humidity, controlled temperature environment, which takes our fresh garlic and converts it to this dark brownish aged black garlic you see here on the right. And the main active that is formed through this aging process is S-allele which is a highly stable bioavailable biomolecule that has been associated with inhibiting oxidative stress. And it is not present in raw garlic. So it's really important because I feel like people will compare it with the benefits of fresh garlic and aged black garlic, but it's just not available in a fresh garlic. It's highly R&D and user friendly. So We see it in many different forms, of course, capsules being the most popular, and in the CardioWise product that BodyWise has created. But we actually are making prototypes to see how they work in gummies and other products as well. Because again, it's not a stinky garlic. It is available to put into many different forms. The dosing on this is 250 milligrams per day. And a little bit about the shelf life and the product itself. And these are, with the clinical studies that we have, these are the claims we're able to make on this product supporting blood pressure. So helping support, maintain cardiac health, cardiac function, help maintain blood pressure, regulate cardiovascular health. It helps with nitric oxide release and decrease oxidative stress related to aging. It also has a very high antioxidant, anti-inflammatory aspect to it. So we can say it's a natural antioxidant, helps inhibit oxidative stress and occasional inflammation, and helps alleviate oxidative stress related to aging. So let's dive into the science here. Now we have 2 clinical trials on this product. The first clinical trial here is a randomized crossover sustained double-blind and control intervention study. The objective here is to assess the effect of daily intake of the ABG with the SAC in combination with dietary recommendations. The population were 67 people, healthy men and women, who had LDL cholesterol levels of 115 or higher, and at least another risk factor associated to metabolic syndrome. And what that could be, it could be higher blood pressure, it can be a high BMI. They just needed to have those 2 factors or more to kind of put them at a higher risk category so we can truly assess to see how the ABG was helping. The dosing here was 250 milligrams at 1.25 milligrams SAC for 6 weeks. And here are some of the results that we saw. So what was interesting about this, we actually saw more benefits in men than women. So we separated them by gender, and we saw significant balance of blood pressure to healthy levels with ABG treatment was observed in men. So if you look at the baseline here, the blood pressure with the ABG was around 80, and this is a systolic pressure. As we know, that's kind of a little bit more telling when it comes to high blood pressure. And then after 6 weeks, we saw a nice drop to around 76. And then for women, they started somewhere around 71 and went down to 70. So we saw a much bigger drop for men than women in this particular study. But then we went over here and saw people who had a higher blood pressure. So when they had 75, systolic pressure of 75 or more, they had a higher decrease versus less than 75. So basically what this is telling us is those who are in the higher, more risk category got more benefits from the product. And you'll see also with triglycerides and LDL here, we actually noted that they started in that 108 and baseline for ABG. And then 6 weeks later, they were around 100. And then again, we looked at people who had higher than 166 and less than 166. And what we found was the patients who had 166 or more, so the higher, more at-risk patients benefited and had a bigger drop than those who had less than 166 LDL. So decrease in triglycerides and LDL. So the main conclusions from this study confirms that ABG supplementation helped balance blood pressure and also helped with triglycerides and LDL levels. Now, this is a newer clinical trial. This is a randomized triple-blind and controlled study. The criteria here were they were men and women 18 years of older, and they were diagnosed with hypertension and they were on a medication of one or more hypertensive drugs. So these are people who have high blood pressure, they've been taking their medication and not having too much success. So the exclusion criteria, we didn't want too many risk factors because they were already hypertensive and on medication. So we wanted to exclude those who were morbidly obese, who had higher cholesterol and higher blood glucose, and anyone that were on ACE inhibitors. And the dosing here is the 0.25 milligrams of SAC, which is the 250 milligrams of ABG10. We had 81 people in the study, 40 in placebo and 41 in the ABG. And we did this test for 12 weeks. We're going to go over the details of the outcomes and measures. Okay, so we have the run-in phase. The run-in phase, the blood pressure is monitored for 2 weeks on a daily basis, which allows obtaining their levels of blood pressure as a start for the study. Then we had the experimental phase with a duration of 12 weeks. The volunteers were divided in 2 groups, the placebo group and the ABG10 group. And here they measure their blood pressure daily from home. And here we'll see the blood pressure reductions that we noticed. A reduction of the systolic blood pressure of ABG was observed of 1.8. And then the diastolic was 1.5. Now those numbers don't sound too high, right? But what we do know is that a 10% decrease in blood pressure has been shown to help reduce your risk for cardiovascular disease by around 20 to 25%. So a small change can make a big impact. And we also have to remember these are people who are already on hypertensive drugs and we're not seeing improvement. So it did help reduce their blood pressure further. Now we also saw an increase in nitric oxide levels as a natural vasodilator. So why is nitric oxide so important? It helps with increasing the diameter of our blood vessels and thus helping with better blood flow, better supply of oxygen and nutrients to our heart. And I mean, you can see just how drastic that is with ABG10. Here's the baseline and 12 weeks with just a placebo. And here's the baseline, and this shot up to 97 after 12 weeks of ABG10. So definitely amazing for blood flow. And this is, of course, excellent for your blood pressure, but you'll notice this. Any product that helps with nitric oxide helps make you feel more energized because it's helping with your blood flow as well. So people tend to feel this the most. And helps with increased antioxidant capacity. Since elevated levels of oxidative stress are associated with high blood pressure, the antioxidant capacity of ABG has been shown to help have regulating effects on the blood pressure. So you'll see here we use the FRAP method, which is the ferric reducing antioxidant power. We find this to be one of the most accurate versus some of the ORAC and other methods of measuring antioxidant capacity. You can see just how high that is. And we also see a decrease in vasoconstriction, because it does help reduce the conversion of angiotensin 1 into angiotensin 2. When angiotensin 1 is converted to angiotensin 2, it causes our blood vessels to constrict. So by breaking that and inhibiting this conversion, we're actually reducing vasoconstriction. So it's working on both ends. It's helping increase dilation and decrease constriction. So the main conclusions here is the consumption of ABG helps promote healthy blood pressure in diastolic and systolic. It has potential benefits in cardiovascular health that help with a nitric oxide flow and blood flow, and it has antioxidant capacity. It has been shown that there are no side effects with ABG. So perfect for anyone looking to have a cardiovascular product into their regime. And this is just showing a little bit more of the mechanism of action. We talked about nitric oxide flows. So ABG helps modulate the release of nitric oxide, and it helps relax the blood vessel, thus opening them up and cause vasodilation. And this shows the conversion of angiotensin 1 to angiotensin 2. So what ABG is doing is blocking this enzyme activity, the ACE enzymatic activity here, to prevent constriction, because high angiotensin 2 causes constriction of the blood vessel. And an interesting thing here, we actually notice a decrease in the coronary perfusion pressure, promoting the vasodilation of coronary arteries, and thus allowing more blood to carry oxygen and nutrients to the heart. And then here is the high antioxidant capacity that we're extremely proud of with ABG. As you can see, there's other aged black garlic on the market, and here is their antioxidant capacity in comparison. And red yeast rice is a wonderful ingredient known for its antioxidant capacity, but still does not compare to how high ABG10 is. It's actually 10 times higher than other aged black garlics on the market. And we'll dive into some more information on production process and our quality standards at Farm Active. So here we have La Mancha in Spain. So everyone within the company, except for me and someone else, lives in Madrid. And this farm where our garlic is grown is about 2 hours away from our manufacturing facility in Madrid. And what makes it so wonderful for this garlic, it's sunny, it's dry. It does have some harsh conditions, which is where our garlic thrives. And here's the actual picture of the garlic that we use for our ABG10 production. It's a unique variety of Spanish garlic, so not the large bulbs we're used to. They're a little bit smaller. And they're grown jointly with other varieties and specifically selected for harvest at the top-notch quality. So it's locally grown, like we mentioned. You see where this little black dot is? That's Castilla-La Mancha. And right in the middle of Madrid, there is our manufacturing facility. So it's about a couple hours away. Locally grown, we're actually very proud and focused on sustainability within our company a lot. So we have a low carbon footprint, and we actually recently got certified B Corp to show our dedication to sustainability. And a little bit about our extraction process. We do not use any chemicals. There's no alcohols. It's 100% native SAC actives that we get. So when we get the garlic in, it goes through its proprietary aging process. And then when it's ready to be extracted, we use water as a solvent. It goes through the extraction process. We use low heat and low pressure to ensure that the product maintains its bioactives. And we ensure the SAC concentration so that you are getting exactly what it says that you're going to get. And we do a DNA check to make sure you're getting 100% garlic, aged black garlic frost at the end product. So a little bit about aged black garlic versus fresh garlic. So as we talked about, aged black garlic has been used for ancient times. It has a really high natural antioxidant capacity. Fresh garlic has about a medium. It's somewhere in the ferric scale of, I think, about like 5 or 6. So not quite as high as the tenfold of our aged black garlic. Its main substances from fresh garlic are transformed into the SAC, which is the active compound we discussed, versus fresh garlic, as Allison is especially unstable, and it's what causes that unpleasant odor and taste. So if you have taken fresh garlic supplements, of course, it does have wonderful cardiovascular benefits as well, but it can leave that garlic taste in your mouth all day long and get the garlic burps as well. So this won't cause that and won't cause any sort of reflux. issues as well. It is sweet in a brown color. It has a little bit of a licoricey profile to it. And it's one of the fastest growing functional ingredients in the world. As fermented ingredients are gaining popularity, you'll see more and more aged black garlic everywhere, from supplementation to when you go and to the local grocery store and get your marinated meats. I saw aged black garlic marinated chicken the other day, which I wouldn't have been able to say a few years ago. So it's truly gaining popularity right now. And it's produced at Farm Active's manufacturing plant. It's fully controlled, 100% traceable. Um, Again, it's an alpha-copendas. We use our extraction process we discussed, and we have all our certifications, of course, GMP, ISO 9001, all of these to ensure you're getting a high quality, safe ingredient. So one of the reasons why it's so important to ensure that what you're getting is black garlic is because it is very common that these black garlic ingredients have adulterants in them. So basically mixing a little bit of aged black garlic with talc or green tea extract, which are cheaper, and they have some level of SAC to kind of mix them in, but you just don't know how they're going to react and what you're getting. You want it to make sure it's 100% aged black garlic. So what we do is the HPLC analytical method on every single batch. So you know what you're getting is in fact aged black garlic. So here on the left, this is an ABG HPLC analytical reading. And you'll see it up front. That shows us that is ABG, and that's the aged black garlic. Versus this one is an adulterated one. And you'll see this tiny little tick here is the garlic. And then these are the green tea extract at the end. But they'll sell it to you as aged black garlic. So just in summary, our aged black garlic has been safe, proven efficacious. You are getting exactly what we say you're going to get. It's very unique, has its cardioprotective benefits for blood pressure, antioxidant, and nitric oxide. We actually are finalists for the Nutra Ingredient Awards for Asia and the US. So we're excited for those. It has that high antioxidant capacity we discussed. It's tenfold higher than others and helps promote positive impact on immune system as well. So we have complete traceability that allows us to obtain an extract with high concentrations of active ingredients. We have all the boxes ticked with kosher, halal. We have the DNA certification, a low CO2 impact that's locally grown, and it's pleasure doping free. For all those European soccer fans, it's safe for the athletes to take as well. And thank you for your attention. If you have any questions, I do see one.
Curious, our ABG plus 10 that we're getting in our cardio-wise, is that the 0.25 SAC?
That's the 0.25. Yes, that 250 milligram dose is in line with the second clinical trial here, which is this one. So 0.25, 250 milligrams of ABG10.
Yeah, well, not only was it a great presentation, but I mean the significance, the scientific base for what you were saying, the evidence-based results, and if you're interested in heart health, I think you need to go on CardioWise, which contains this really super ingredient. It's amazing. And you know what? It really hit me also. One final thing. I mean, the Egyptians are onto this 5,000 years ago.
Yes.
I mean, like how do they know this, right? I mean, how did they know this? But anyway, if they figured it out back 5,000 years ago, I'm glad we can increase the figuring it out in today's world.
Thank you for taking my call. It's been very informative. I'm in Corona del Mar. My question is, when using black garlic to cook, how does it change the properties in relationship to the nutrients you will be ingesting?
That's a really good
compared to
question.
raw versus cooked.
Yes, that's a really good question. Actually, the heat will kill the SAC. So that's why we're so adamant about our aging process to have it exactly in the right temperature and the right humidity. And then when it's ready to go through extraction, we use really low heat for the extraction process. So anything over 40 Celsius can degrade the actives. And actually, we had someone ask the other day if they just eat raw black garlic from a jar from Whole Foods, which, like 3 cloves is probably like $30 or so. Um, could it have as much SAC as, in our case, it's 0.1% or 0.25 milligrams of SAC? Potentially, maybe it could, but no one is standardizing that. No one's checking to ensure that is the exact level. So when you take something for the cardioprotective benefits, it's most important to ensure that you're getting that right dosage for those benefits. I hope that
So,
answers you.
sorry, so yours is a concentrated dose.
Yes, because this is an extract.
When you take it with other supplements, does it matter? Is there a formula to that? Can you just take it in the morning, or should you have some food first so you get more nutrients from it?
Honestly, when you're taking something like this, it doesn't matter too much, but I would err on the side of caution. Always take it with food, just in case you're susceptible to getting an upset stomach or
And that
something.
applies, sorry, that applies to your black garlic in there.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
thank you so much.
Mhm.
And Bridget, just to add on to that, the cardio-wise product, definitely you want to take it with food. It's got crystalline niacin in it, and you want to avoid citric acid and caffeine. So you definitely want to take that with a food product and avoid the acids. Always take it right after you eat if you can.